So I know I have this crazy lion mane going on right now, but I didn't have time to do my hair after the shower, and I just want to come on here really quick and talk a little bit about nutrition. Once again, why? Because it's definitely the most important part of your program. You can literally spend hours, I'm talking hours in the gym, and really not see any results if your diet isn't on point, especially if you're overeating, and honestly even if you're undereating. So first off, I want to talk a little bit about overeating. A lot of people think that, if I just only eat 1,200 calories a day, then I'm going to get to my goal. Well, that's actually false, because you can be eating 1,200 calories a day, and yes, of course, you're gonna lose weight, if you're burning more calories, whatever, than you're taking in. But a lot of people don't realize that, once they get to a certain point, it's really hard to attain a certain physique, and they don't understand why they have certain fat storage and all this kind of stuff, and why they don't look like these people they see in magazines, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Well, the reason is because they're probably overeating in a certain area. So, for instance, if you're undereating in your protein and then you're overeating in your carbs, your body doesn't need all those carbs. So what it's going to do with the excess carbs that it's taking in is store them as fat, even if you're only eating 1,200 calories a day. So you need to make sure that you find what your body needs specifically to fit your personal goals and your workout regimen. So really getting in tune with what your body needs is really important. And honestly, sometimes you can hit this right on the spot, and sometimes it does take a little time to actually figure it out. So it's a process, and you just have to commit to the process and learning. And it does really help to, get some help with somebody who knows, whether it be a friend, a trainer, anything like that. But anybody with some sort of knowledge in nutrition can really help you. And like I said, even myself as a coach, I still have a trainer and people who help me, because two opinions are always, can be better than one. And it can really help fine tune with where you want to go with your personal goals. So again, if you're overeating in a specific area, regardless of your calorie intake, your body's going to store it as fat. So keep that in mind. Calories really don't mean a whole heck of a lot, as long as your, macronutrients, your protein, your carbs, and your fats are set up correctly, and you're following them. So, undereating. Okay, so, a lot of people think, I'm going to go start tracking my macros, and I'm going to set it up on this, industry standard, and they think, if I just do this and only eat 1,200 calories a day and work out 6 days a week, I'm going to look ripped. Well, parts of you will probably cut up. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But when you undereat, you have to realize that your body is not going to build muscle properly if it's not giving the correct amount of nutrients. So if you're undereating and say, your upper body's really cutting up or something like that, and you're getting really lean, but in your problem areas, you're still looking kind of flabby, or, you got some cellulite, like in the lower hips and thighs, like a lot of women get, and you can't get rid of it. Well, the thing is, you're never going to get rid of it if you don't start eating more. Why? Because if you don't give your body the proper nutrients that it needs in order to build muscle, which tighten up, then it's going to stay flabby. The reason why is because your body uses its nutrients that it takes in through food as a fuel source, as an energy source to push us through our workouts, to help us lift that weight, to help us run farther, So if you're not giving your body those nutrients it needs to actually do those activities, then it's going to start eating lean muscle tissue. And when you start eating lean muscle tissue, you get that flabby effect. You get cellulite, you get really soft, to the touch. It's not hard. It's not what people like to call tone looking. It's just, not where you want to be. So you do have to realize undereating can hurt you just as much as overeating. And Grant, obviously, if you're overeating, you're gonna have a lot more fat storage. If you're undereating, you're gonna not necessarily look as good naked as you want. You might look good in clothes, you might appear very thin and such, but you are going to have some, looser areas because your body is malnutritioned. You're not giving your body the proper nutrients it needs in order to build a substantial amount of muscle mass. So it's really, really important to make sure that you're eating enough and not overeating. And like I said, trying to find somebody out there that's knowledgeable to help you in those areas is really important, even just for a little bit of time. Like I said, always say knowledge is power, and, utilize those things that are out there for you. And there's a bunch of stuff on the internet that can kind of help you, find a good starting point. A good starting point is really to actually determine what kind of body type you have. There's an endomorph, which generally has a little bit more fat storage, has a little bit harder time leaning out, but does okay with muscle building. Mesomorphs, like the person you all want to be, basically they respond really well to pretty much any program. They can build muscle easily. They lean out really fast. It's kind of like your ideal body type that you want to be, of course. And then there's your ectomorph, and your ectomorph is the one that's like usually really lean, has a little bit of a harder time building some muscle and whatnot. So anyway, just kind of determining your body type can really help you kind of aim where you need to set up your nutrition. And like I said, overeating is obviously going to hurt you, but not eating enough is going to hurt you too. And one thing about overeating is that you're going to have fairly decent energy when you're in the gym. You're going to be able to lift fairly heavy. That's why a lot of power lifters get to eat a lot more, because they're really using a lot of energy to lift heavy and stuff like that. So if you're undereating, you're not necessarily going to be able to have that energy to lift weights. A lot of the times when you undereat, you get really cranky and hangry and emotional, and it's just really, really difficult. And so you can't just go into it thinking like, oh, I want to look like all these people. I want to be ripped up. I want to have muscle. Well, that's a process. So a lot of times you'll go through kind of like a builder phase, and then you'll start to kind of slowly lean out. And then once you get to a point of where you're happy with where you are, then you can kind of kick it back out and start eating normal again and be happy. But you do not have to just cut your calories down to like 1,200, especially if you're working out. I would die. I would die if I had to eat 1,200 calories. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even during my preps, during peak week, which, if you've never competed before, peak week is like the ultimate week, where you basically just cut it all and you're really drained because you're trying to really dry out so you can really reveal the muscles. But it's only for 5 to 7 days. It's not like a very, very long period of time, like months on time. Even in both of my preps, I have never, I don't think ever got under 1,400 calories, maybe. Usually kind of around the 1,500 range. I know my first show, I was definitely around like 1,500 for peak week, and I won. So, I'll just tell you right now, you don't have to just go down to 1,200 calories a day. Just saying. You're gonna, you have to realize that in this, when you're trying to achieve a specific fitness goal, you want to feel good. And not too many people are feeling really good at 1,200 calories a day. And honestly, you're not feeling really good if you're overeating either. Because then you're going to feel like crap. You're going to be tired if you're just like giving your body like all this junk that it doesn't need. So, like I said, undereating is not good, and neither is overeating. It's just all about kind of finding that good, part that works for you. But if you're eating 1,200 calories a day and you're working out 6 days a week, I gotta tell you right now, you're probably undereating, especially on your low days. You're just like, or those days where you're maybe training legs and you're pushing, you're using a little bit more energy and stuff like that. You're gonna be tired. You're not gonna be able to lift heavy. And you know, your body's gonna eat the lean muscle mass that you're trying to put on so that you can, you know, have these nice like athletic looking legs and figure and all that kind of stuff. And overeating, obviously, you know, you might just get a little bit thicker if you're working out a lot. And, you know, most of us when we work out, we want to kind of lean out. So obviously, if you're getting thicker and putting on weight when you're doing your exercise program, you're probably just overeating or overeating in a specific area. If you are really leaning out really nice in some areas, but some areas are looking really flabby or you're getting cellulite or something like that, then you are definitely undereating. And one thing about undereating is that if you, you know, want to get that nice smooth look, then you're going to have to start eating more and you're going to have to start lifting heavy because it is not going to go away. It will stay there. I promise. It will not go away. I mean, I've been there, I've done it, I know exactly what it looks like. I've been on both ends, I've overate, and actually when I overate, yes, I was thicker, but I didn't have like the backside of my legs and stuff like that, they were smooth. When I underate, the backside of my legs were like real flabby and soft, and I think I would have preferred the like smoother legs, but thicker legs better because I feel like it just looks better, personally. So, if you're having some issues with, you know, your fitness goals and like where you're kind of at and kind of struggling with what to do, I highly recommend just looking up stuff on the internet and kind of determining what body type you are and, you know, or talk with a coach. You can ask me anything you want to ask. You can check out my website. It's bodybyjfit.com. I have a few programs on there. Some of my custom programs can really help you out, but I'm also available for questions if you just, you know, want to have anything that you want to ask me. I'm always down to help somebody, even if they're not purchasing one of my programs, because I've had a lot of people help me, and I would like to help others. So on my website, there's also a contact me section. So you could just go ahead, shoot me an email, and I'll help you out and kind of maybe help steer you in the right direction. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little tip for today, and I hope you have a fabulous day.